Good evening, students from RGEM site. I am going to speak one very important topic, trial balance. What is trial balance? Let's see trial balance, how it is prepared. What is the importance of trial balance? Let us see. Trial balance consists of all ledger balances of different accounts on any particular date. Now, trial balance is prepared generally on the last date of the accounting period. Accounting period, I have already discussed. Accounting period may follow a financial year that starts on 1st April and ends on 31st March next year. Or we may follow accounting year for an enterprise from 1st January up to the 31st December. Or it could be like 1st October to the 30th September next year. Why accounting period is necessary, that I already explained under periodic concept. Now, on the last date of the accounting period, we generally prepare the trial balance. Trial balance consisting of all accounts ledger balances. That is the account's name and their respective balance, debit balance or credit balance. And ultimately, when we add up the total debit, should match with the total credit. Now, under classification of accounts, I have already explained there are three types of accounts: personal account, real account and nominal account. Personal account relate to accounts of any person, enterprise or a partnership firm who had a transaction with the enterprise. We are preparing trial balance for the enterprise. Now, personal account might have debit balance or credit balance. Generally, when the enterprise has extended service and some amount become due to the either sale of goods or extension of service, that amount become due and not yet received, because in the business when we extend any service or sale of goods, it is on credit basis, like 2 months credit, 3 months credit. So on the last day, if such type of expenditure which incurred by those firm and they have not paid to our enterprise, they become debtor. That is, they must have in our books debit balance, the respective account's name and their debit balance. Similarly, if some enterprise has extended service to us, then that enterprise account must have a credit balance. Now, debit and credit of those personal account to be placed in the trial balance. The account name and their debit balance, if account's name and their credit balance. Now, real account. Real account means account relate to all asset of the enterprise owned by fixed asset, current asset. Fixed asset, again tangible asset, intangible asset. All must have debit balance. Asset having debit balance. Current asset like closing stock, bill receivable, debtor accounts, cash at bank, cash in hand, expenditure paid in advance, those ledger must have debit balance. Similarly, they are real as well as some of them are personal. Similarly, expenditure and income accounts, all expenditure account must have debit balance, because that is the expenditure we have incurred during the accounting period. That is nominal account. Expenditure debited, incomes are credited. So, every time we credited income, so total credit less any advance received out of such income which not arise but amount has received. If there, then total credit less such type, so to balance carried down. So we have by balance brought down credit balance. So total of credit balance of different ledger income accounts, like sale is the major, out of that other indirect income, rent received by the enterprise, or say interest received or discount received, so those credit balance should appear. Similarly, different expenditure account, rent paid, conveyance paid, stationery expenditure, traveling expenditure, other expenditure, they should come as debit balance. So we have three types of account: personal account, creditor account, bill payable accounts, bank overdraft account, any other loan account. So that should be credit balance. Similarly, we have the debit balance like bill receivable account, cash at bank, that is we had cash on the last date with the banker. So banker having debit balance in our accounts. Then real account like cash in hand, machinery on the last date. So it is coming like that. So we have to understand accounts which personal, they should have credit or debit. All real account in fact debit balance. All expenditure account debit balance, credit balance. Income accounts credit balance. Now in this way, if we like categorize account like personal account, if they are debtor in nature, debit balance. If creditor in nature, credit balance. Real account, all real account like land, building, plant, machinery, cash in hand, etc. having debit balance. Expenditure, all the expenditure account debit balance. All the income accounts credit balance. So truly speaking, on the credit side we have the very less number of accounts like either creditor or some incomes. On the debit side we have the different or many account like all the expenditure as well as losses debit, as well as asset debit and debtor nature credit. So on the last date of the accounting period, if we write all the accounts name and their respective balances, we will find the total debit is equal to total credit. So this is the trial balance. Now why the trial balance is prepared? Trial balance is prepared because it will help us to finalize the account or to help us for preparation of final accounts. Now final account is trading account, manufacturing account, if it is manufacturing account, then manufacturing profit, then trading account, and then we have a balance sheet. Now we manufacturing, trading and profit loss account, then we have a balance sheet. So finalization account I will discuss little bit later on. So people must understand what is trial balance and why it is prepared. Necessary of preparation, trial balance is there. It is not mandatory. That is, there is no fixed rule that we must prepare, but we prepared it because it helps us to prepare the final account. Now certain adjustment which while preparing the final account or finalizing the account, that to be made. Like in the trial balance you do not have the closing balance, that is closing stock of on that day is not appearing because it is already included in the purchase account. If the accountant already passed closing stock account debit, purchase account credit, that is the purchase amount which is remaining unsold, that is already adjusted. So purchase if adjusted is given, that means closing stock must appear in your trial balance. We do not find provision for bad debt on the trial balance because provision to be made on the debtor which may comes as bad in future, because we always try to make accuracy in the net profit of the enterprise. Why provision? Because the whole of the debt outstanding on the last date, that is the debtor due on the last date, which arise out of the sale of current period, may not be paid. So that portion become loss. So assumption of such loss we make the provision account, as well as depreciation amount if debited and credited the asset account, that is diminution in the value of assets, we have to remove from the asset, that is from debit of asset, we have credited the amount and put into the separate account like depreciation, then only it will be prepared, appearing. Now, if provision on depreciation to be made on the date of finalization of accounts, then the asset should appear at its original cost. These all I will discuss while preparing the final account. Probably next month I am going to explain the final accounts for all students, those are in the commerce, in the 11, 12, as well as the become final, as well as the aspiring for the CA examinations. Okay, students, good night. Next time I will come upon with the finalization of account, how the account is prepared, and also you must remember it, once the trial balance is matching, so balance sheet must match. You become don't afraid. You have to have little bit like habituation, and you have to have put your brain how the finalization of accounting is done, how the accounting entry you should put. I have already discussed in my all previous video. Good night, student. Thank you.